Okay, and we're back. So what was I saying? Oh, I was just reviewing how you can create these .canvas files manually. You get created on the gem, but only in certain conditions. So it's usually better to manually create them. So now that I fixed the ID here, I want to trigger another action to make sure that it's working. So what I'll do is I'll just make another arbitrary commit. In this case, I'll take away this line. I'm going to go back to actions. And did it not trigger? Perhaps, let's see. Oh,
That's weird.
didn't seem to, that's strange. Yeah, maybe I press cancel. Okay, definitely committed. Okay, cool. So trying this workflow again.
You basically just clicked on actions is all you did once you did the commit, right?
Yeah, once you click on actions, it'll show you everything, show you the one that's actively running right now and all the previous.
Oh, and then you clicked on, okay, got it.
Click here, yeah, to see them. And oh, hey, look, it worked. So this time it installed the gem, and then it synced from .canvas, canvas lesson updated. Cool. So this one now, if I go back to the main core lesson, this is now a check mark green. So this first lesson should be all set. It will now work whenever we update that material.
So then it's probably a good idea just to look for any residual rendering issues, but otherwise it should be good.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, in this case, I'm not too worried. It's just this basic test. Maybe we should work on something that we might want to review next.
Yeah, I mean, if you can kind of walk through the whole process of getting it set up and then using it, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I also actually want to briefly take a detour and fix some of the templates in the workflows because we have some updates we want to make. So I'm going to do that real quick.
Okay.
I believe it is in settings, and there's a actions folder or tab in the Learn Code curriculum settings. Here, let's see if I can find this. Policies, work. I figure out where I actually have to create these templates. Maybe I can get through it from here. Workflow. Set up workflow yourself. Nope, that's not what I want to do.
So what is it you're trying to do? I kind of lost track.
I'm sorry, it's here. All these workflows, so there's a few template workflows we're going to use to set up. There's one, for instance, for pre-work specifically. There's one for HTML, which we might have to like combine these for some of our pre-work content, we'll see. And there's one for basic workflows, basic syncs. These are all, I forgot where they were stored. They're all stored on a .github repo. So I'm going to click on this link and cool. Welcome back, Blake. Hey. So this is the repo where all our template workflows are stored, and I should be able to click in here. And here's the pre-work ones. Pre-work YAML is the pre-work workflow. So I'll click here. I want to make a few edits to this. For one, I want to add main as a default branch to check. So I'm going to check for both of these branches whenever this workflow is triggered. I also probably don't want to have bybug being installed every time. We could just make sure the gem doesn't have it set up, and then that's easier. But everything else is going to be the same. This particular one, for this is pre-work, it's going to have the pre-work flag, which will change the way the fork button works. So cool, I have the default set up. I am now going to just commit this, update this file. What I also will do is make a duplicate of this. I want to make one that is both the HTML and pre-work, because for our HTML content, we'll need to have both the flag in here, which contains HTML, and the flag on the pre-work, which is pre-work, the -- pre-work. So I'm going to create a file, canvas sync HTML pre-work. Paste in what I had here. Add the contains HTML flag. Everything else should be the same. So I'll create that. And then I think I have to create this properties.json thing too for it to show up. So I'm going to copy this and I already forgot what I called it. So I'm going to go back and it was a HTML pre-work. Okay. HTML pre-work.properties.json. Give it a name. Everything else can stay the same. Okay, cool. Commit this. Make sure that it is the same name structure. Yep. Cool. So I now create a new HTML pre-work. Now that that's updated. Oh, I want to go and fix the other ones in here. I'm going to fix this one to also include main. This is the HTML workflow, and also get rid of the by bug. And I'll do the same for the regular sync. This canvas sync one. I'm going to add main and get rid of by bug. Okay, so now all the templates should be set and updated. So if I add any more of these two new lessons, they'll be ready to go. So let's go and add them to some lessons here.
What was that other thing you edited? I know it's not something that we'll have to do on a regular basis, but.
Oh yeah, I'm actually kind of, so like this is all very particular. When if you look up like GitHub actions or workflows, workflow on org level accounts, it will talk about, yeah, this is it. You create this .github repository and it explains why you need to do everything. So this is like an example workflow that they give. And they also want you to create the properties.json file, which is just a metadata file. So I think it likely, what I'm guessing happens is that because once this repo exists, every time we go to a repo on Learn Code Curriculum, we'll be able to now go to actions and it will recognize that these things, oh, here's the pre-work HTML flow. So it must be pulling from that GitHub repo and populating this content based on what we just wrote out. So I think that's all. That properties thing is just providing the details that will show up here and let GitHub know it's like a valid template.
Okay. And
and here too, sorry, what you say?
No, I was just going to say I missed where that was, but it's being recorded, so
I'll yeah. So like, and you can see, actually, I'll just show you here. If we click on the properties.json, categories is Ruby. It must be why this now just shows up as Ruby, because we wrote that and now it's like, okay, this will be Ruby workflows kind of thing. Okay, so we have these 4 templates. We've updated all of them just recently, so they should be ready to go. What we want to do now is test them out and add a few. So let's try the HTML stuff. So here's the experience in the HTML lab. First lab in the HTML section. This one should have some LIs in it that we know will render improperly if we just sync without using the contains HTML. These will render as actual bullets in the page like this. Same with this, an ordered list, another ordered list. So like we want these code snippets to show up as code and not rendered as HTML. So I'm gonna add a workflow, click on actions. And since I don't have a workflow already, it's just giving me all the templates I already have. So here's the basic Canvas sync. Here's the pre-work one, but we want actually the pre-work HTML one because that says both. Set up this workflow. This will create the .github folder /workflows on the repo. Everything here should be all set. So all I have to do is hit commit new file. Now that this exists here, I need to give it a .canvas file for it to know where to go. So .canvas. And again, I already forgot the structure of that. So I'm gonna go and grab it from the lesson we just edited. This YAML structure. This time, it's going to be, the ID will be a number because this is an assignment. Course is still 3280, but it's assignments. Oh. Assignments. And that ID and assignment here. Cool. So that should be updated now. And now that I have the .canvas in the workflow in place, that should be all I need. Well, those are the two things I need to do on this side. Because this workflow works on a secret, also I should mention that is tied to an API key for Canvas. That's actually on Liz's account. Liz has to be an instructor or a teacher or a manager in this particular course for this to work. But if that's the case, all I should have to do now is make an edit to this lesson and it should work. One thing I'll have to keep in mind though, this title, oh, actually no, this is an assignment. So this shouldn't matter because this title will change whatever shows up here as the title, but it won't change the slug because it's an ID. So we don't have to worry about that thing I showed you before with the welcome lesson. But okay, cool. So everything should be good to go. I just need to make an edit to trigger the action. So let's just make another arbitrary commit here. Okay, click on actions. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Oh, that's weird. Wait, what did I just do? It's not registering that last commit did anything to the README. What is going on? What did I just edit? I'm actually kind of curious what's going on here. Remove extra space, or actually I can dive into the change here. It didn't like register. Maybe deleting a line doesn't do anything to GitHub anymore. I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna. Oh, it didn't do it. It didn't. I don't understand what happened.
What the heck is going on?
That's super weird. It might be just specific to like it's like doesn't like what we're doing here, making extra spaces at the end of the file. But hey, I'm definitely making a new line here. So arbitrary commit should definitely trigger this. So there's arbitrary commit and arbitrary commit. Okay, cool. And actions. And hey, it started. Cool. And we look at this. Start the workflow. So now we should see a few things. We should not see it go through the bybug installation, and it should be fine. And then Yep. So it's installed to GitHub to Canvas, or it's installing. Canvas hasn't updated, so that looks good. The question now is, did it render properly? So refresh the page and start scrolling through it. This first part doesn't have any HTML in it. Cool, that's working. These are all looking fine. No strange issues there. This looks fine. That could be indented, but I don't know if that's actually our fault. That might already be in the.
No, it was not indented in GitHub.
Okay, cool. So it looks like everything's good. I don't see any issues. So hey, that sounds like that's promising. Let's go fix that indentation thing and do it. Just do another double check here. Mm-hmm.
How do you indent in GitHub?
Oh, you can do tab, also command, and square brackets left and right will also.
I thought I'd tried the command square bracket in GitHub and it didn't work, but
Oh, oh yeah, I don't know.
I
It just
mean,
worked for me, but I'm not sure.
yeah, no, I probably just screwed something up.
Okay. Cool. So since integration is set up, this little dot is indicating now that it's working, and if it check marks, then we should be good to go. Once it check marks, it'll indicate that it's success. If it's an X, we'll know that something's gone wrong. You could watch it too, but I'm kind of curious to see if it'll just update here. Or maybe I'll refresh the page. Okay, it didn't update live. Refresh the page, check mark appeared. So that worked out. So that was successful. And if I go back over here and refresh, I should see indented. Wow, excellent. So that's pretty good. That's promising, because that means that the recent gem fixes we've done do seem to be working correctly to get all the rendering fix errors resolved, at least for HTML. So now it would be a matter of adding that workflow and .canvas file to everything. And for some of them, for HTML, we add the HTML pre-work. Everything else, we just add pre-work.
There is HTML in some other lessons though, so we will need to actually look at them.
Sure, yeah, that's true, yeah. One thing that's kind of good though about this setup is that like once we do this and we have the right workflow, we won't have to worry about it as long as we'll know like this one's HTML. We can make changes that will, and it should show up properly.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And I'll show you the other thing I was just building out. So here you have some unsynced changes I've just made. Hey, here's the experiencing HTML lab, welcome assignment, lesson. Sorry. So I could hit sync, which of course is easier at the moment, but I can also now, I have a new gem I've just built. I should be able to use this Canvas to Blueprint tool to sync courses based on Blueprint. So Canvas, I can do the full sync courses, Blueprint, that ID. Oh, I still have a buy bug in it. So this isn't published yet. So that's still in testing, but I'm going to continue. And it says publishing course. That's also not right. It should be syncing course. Publishing apparently you can't do in the element, the API. So this is the one thing you cannot do. Command line, but originally I was hoping you could. Now if I refresh this page, I'm now syncing.
Awesome.
So one thought about this tool, I'm curious about your all thoughts. We could, you could easily, once this is working and we have a list of the blueprints we know we want to run, it would be possible to just do a scheduled daily thing, like run a workflow or run a script locally every day to make sure that all of our blueprints are synced. It would make it a little easier on our side. The only question is that something we want? Like if we are potentially, it would raise a situation where we might have made like a partial change and then forgot about it, and we're going to end up syncing things that are unwanted potentially. But
yeah, I'm also a little worried about just, the various rendering issues that
sure.
hopefully are pretty much fixed, but I'm not sure are 100% fixed at this
Mhm.
point. So that would be my only concern about that.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, this would definitely be like, we would not be, the current process does require us to go through stuff a lot more. So
Yeah, so I mean, clicking the sync button is pretty easy, but it's a matter of doing it for any blueprints that got changed, right?
yeah, exactly. Like
Okay.
the long-term vision that I had for like curriculum maintenance would be, it would be great if, like, since our team is small and we have always hoped that we can leverage like our instructor labor pool to see if anyone feels comfortable making edits, we want to get them trained up and feel good about it. Ideally, sort of like what Nikki did for you, Liz, or with you a few days ago. Like, we want them to be able to edit stuff on the GitHub and then not have to worry about it ever working in Canvas. And if it was all automatic, it could be a situation where people put PRs in or make changes here, even if they're not on our team. The workflow will automatically update it to the blueprint, and then on a regular basis, we just sync everything. It could be weekly, for instance. That way, we just know that, like, no matter what, as long as you're making changes here, it will eventually get to the course. We don't have to do that anytime soon, though, and that's up to y'all to do. I keep saying we. Liz called me out on this earlier too. You all. We'll have to figure that out.
Well, we want to let you play with all the toys as long as you can, Max.
Yeah, I love building little gems like this. This is fun. This is actually a pretty fun little exercise.
Yes, I hope to be able to get to do that myself at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry. Like,
No. I just feel like, oh my gosh, yeah, just finding the time to learn how to do all this stuff is the only issue.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. I mean, hopefully if we can, my hope always is, like, if we invest time in doing stuff like this, like building the gem to do something we do on a regular basis, this will hopefully save us some time.
Yeah. No, I think awesome.
Yeah, it is called it always like there's always pressing things though for us to do.
So
all right, sorry?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna stop the recording for the workflow stuff, unless you want to keep working on that. And we can go to another topic, or we can keep working on workflow stuff. We could even try to just implement it all right now in phase one, like as a group, if we all just do that process together on different sections. I don't know how you all feel though.
Sorry, do what?
Like, try to implement the workflows on other content here and pre-work as a group. Like, if we all took a section, we could probably implement a lot of this very soon, very quickly, if you're up for it.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I could probably really take on most of that and work through it.
Okay.
It all seems pretty quick to get it set up. I'll just have to I'll watch this video again.
Okay, cool. All right, then we won't do that now. All right, that's cool. Yeah, that would be great then.
Yeah, I think I'd rather switch to something that we haven't covered yet.
Okay, sure.
If that's okay.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna stop recording then.